77. Well, we got today a rare piece of good news on the U.S. housing front. Starts in August, rose more than expected. Just shy of 600,000 units on a seasonally adjusted basis. Our next guest, though, says the headline number masks major weakness in the sector. John Weicher is the director of the Center for Housing and Financial Markets at the Hudson Institute. He is in Washington, D.C. John, thanks for joining us.
Glad to be with you.
So why weren't you bowled over by the August data?
Well, it is up, but I think that's the best thing you can say for it. The figures for August are better than the figures for July. But most of the increase comes in the multifamily sector, and that's been notoriously volatile, bouncing up and down the last year and a half from month to month. It's quite low. It's by far the smallest part of the U.S. housing industry right now. And it's certainly not where the problems have been. Problems have been in single-family homes. If you look at single-family homes, they're up, but they're up about 4%. And that's, again, better than July. But the number is worse than June, worse than May, worse than April, worse than any month in the last year and a half. There's a long way to go before the U.S. home market really is out of the woods.
We've got such a different scenario here in Canada where the multiple starts, particularly in large cities like Vancouver and Toronto, are just through the roof, and we're worried about a bubble situation. What's the health of that apartment sector in the United States, as small as it is?
Well, we have, one reason it is small is that we have a very high vacancy rate in the multifamily sector. Lots of apartments for rent. Close to 10% of the rental housing stock is available for rent. That's very high. It's been like that for a number of years, even during the bubble, the boom of a few years ago. Normally in this country, 6% is thought to be a reasonable vacancy rate, a sort of average equilibrium vacancy rate. We're well above it.
Tell us, though, so then about the single-family starts and the problems there. And because we saw that first-time homebuyers tax credit expire at the end of April, is this data today evidence to you that we need to bring it back?
I don't think so. And interestingly, I don't see the people in the industry saying so either. Both the National Association of Home Builders and the National Association of Realtors said today that they didn't favor a new tax credit or an extension of the tax credit. There was a feeling that they had gotten as much out of that as they possibly could, and that they were worried about its impact on the deficit, which is a very different position than most people in the housing industry had when the tax credit was passed.
We had that report yesterday out of Ally Financial and their GMAC mortgage division. The initial report had told us that if foreclosures in 23 states were on hold for 30 days, and they came out to clarify that no, that's not in fact the case. But the market watchers at the time had told us that this was a really good idea. It would keep supply back. We would keep housing prices from tumbling further. Is this something that Ally really ought to be considering, do you think?
I don't know the specifics. Probably people who could benefit from having a foreclosure delayed. There are probably people who could not benefit from having it delayed, and all that would happen then would be that resolving the problem would be prolonged into the future. Heaven knows that the administration, and for that matter the Bush administration, for the last 3 years have been trying to find ways to help people stay in their homes. The main program we have, the HAMP program, is generally thought to have been less than satisfactory, and the administration continues to try to tinker with it to have somewhat better results. I don't think you can simply put foreclosures on hold and expect that to really resolve any problem, short run or long run.
I wonder, though, then how we deal with that shadow inventory, the expectation of 12 million more homes entering the housing market. Aren't we already at a supply where it would take 3 years to burn off the existing for sale signs as it is? How do we deal with that, John?
Well, I think that's right. It will take quite a while for the existing supply to work out. And I think the main problem is now in the general economy. We have a high unemployment rate. It hasn't been coming down. We have uncertainty about the economy. We have uncertainty about economic policy. If you're thinking of buying a home right now, you've got to be thinking twice. And if you are thinking about buying a home right now, there are an awful lot already on the market to choose from. You don't have to go to a builder and ask them to build a new one for you.
As we head into the midterm elections there in the United States, based upon the scuttlebutt you're hearing, do you expect the housing issues to be addressed differently once the ballots are all counted and the winners are tallied?
Well, it depends on who wins. I think if Congress remains in Democratic hands in both houses, then the administration will probably be trying to find ways to help the housing market, but they will be along the lines of the strategies they've already tried. If the Republicans win one house or both, then I think you'll have to have some kind of bipartisan effort to figure out something that will work and that has a better chance of working and that can command broad support across the political spectrum.
How confident are you that that's going to happen
right now? Well, I just said, as I was saying, I don't see what that agreement is going to be at this point.
Well, we appreciate your insight. Thank you so much for taking the time to speak to us today.
You're welcome.
John Weicher is the Director of Center for Housing and Financial Markets at the Hudson Institute. He joined us from Washington, D.C. Now, BHP Billiton's CEO, Mary